We followed your tips about so-called big houses, apartment buildings in disguise, in areas zoned for 1 or 2 families. Last week, Always Investigating found out that when city authorities catch landlords in the act, it's often the renters who suffer most. Gina Mangieri is Always Investigating and looked into the renters' rights. Gina?
Joe, when these big houses get rented out to more than the number of families allowed by zoning, it's not legal. And when it's caught, the owners have to comply quickly, often putting unsuspecting tenants out on the street. Big houses chopped up into too many units, too many tenants, mounting demands to fix it among the hundreds of notices of violation a year city inspectors dole out.
They trusted what they signed on the lease was valid, and obviously it wasn't.
That's what happened to renters at this 3-story multiplex in Palolo after their landlord was caught renting to more than just the single family plus 1 family-related Ohana unit occupant allowed in zoning. Several renters in units they didn't know were illegal were given a month and a half to find somewhere else to live.
There needs to be some kind of advocacy, government advocacy for tenants.
The Office of Consumer Protection has a landlord-tenant center. We took these cases to them for review. What's wrong with what you see?
Well, it's a lot's wrong with it, and it's probably one of the more obnoxious clauses that I've ever seen.
A clause that says if the landlord is caught violating zoning laws, the tenant is out and the landlord's not liable.
The law is what the law is, and if the landlord is responsible for certain things, you can't disclaim it and tell the tenant, I'm sorry, the law doesn't apply in this situation because, 1, it's unconscionable under the law, and 2, it's in violation of the landlord-tenant code, which makes these kind of provisions void on their face.
Also, that the tenant knows the place does not conform to zoning or building codes. Tenants told me they did not know that was in there. A realtor who helped lease some units for this owner told me it's a standard clause reviewed by a lawyer, and that he did not know this particular house was not up to code. Monetarily speaking, what should tenants be walking away with if they find themselves having to exit this kind of situation?
Well, for instance, the landlord-tenant code says these kind of contractual provisions are void. The tenant should be able to get back what they provided to the landlord.
The deposit.
The damaged deposit. Of course, if they trash the place, that may be a different situation.
And any last month's rent if they had prepaid that?
Yeah.
Then there's the problem of where to live next on an island that has nowhere near enough housing for regular working folks. Neighbors say that's no reason to look the other way. To those who may say we're always hearing about how much more housing is needed, isn't this helping with housing inventory?
Yeah, I don't think so. No. It's just all wrong.
I hate to say it, but renter beware. Just like the old buyer beware story, the same thing with when you're renting.
How can tenants avoid finding themselves in this situation in the first place?
Well, it's hard because there's a lack of units out there. The best thing a tenant can do, any kind of situation, is go in with their eyes open, read the contract carefully.
And check out websites that list all county property, building permit, and zoning records. Check out a landlord or rental company's history, if any, at district court with rental disputes. Also see the resources at the state's Landlord-Tenant Center about what should or should not be in lease language. We've put up links online at KHON2.com. Also, ask the landlord straight up, is this place by the book?
I would look at what their permit is, and then I would check with the city. And that's terrible that you have to investigate your landlord like that, but apparently you do.
It's almost heartless to put a tenant in a situation like this where you're telling them, come on in, I'm going to rent you this thing illegally. There may be a strong possibility they're going to have to leave. And then where are they? They're out in the street.
A realtor who worked on some leases for that Palolo property said after going through this, he's modifying his listing agreements with owners to say the landlord ensures any property is legally rentable. Gina Mangieri, KHON2 News.